Rachel McAdams is getting real about her body. The actress is on the cover of Bustle magazine, and at the time, she had just given birth to her second child and was still breastfeeding. In the article, Rachel revealed she turned down some high-profile movies in the early 2000s, like The Devil Wears Prada, Mission Impossible 3, Iron Man, and Casino Royale. That's a lot. She said she took a 2-year break from Hollywood in order to, quote, stay sane.
That's what I'm doing.
But felt guilty she was throwing her career away. She also requested that the photos for the shoot be edited as little as possible, including keeping her underarm hair front and center. Why, Erica, do you think this is so controversial for women to show their underarm hair?
I don't know. We've all done it at least once a month. Like, I mean, if not more. Like, it's hair. It's a natural part of the body. I mean, during COVID, I remember fixing our little setup, and I was like, oh Lord, I am really behind. Like, sorry, booth. It just happens. I don't know why it's so controversial.
You do a lot of photo shoots. You do a lot of glam shoots, Cobby.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes,
that's a call me, Glamour Cobb.
Yes.
Yeah, I likely wouldn't. But for me, it's when I think about being in front of people as we are now, there's so few things that are actually in your control, truly, that I try to make sure I take care of everything that's in my control, because that's just my preference to do so. But I don't see anything wrong with women showing their armpit hair. I mean,
well, they've done it for a while. We have pictures, I think. Julia Roberts at the Notting Hill premiere proudly walked around with armpit hair. We have Emily Ratajkowski at a different Harper's Bazaar. This is 2019. And in Europe, you know, hair is seen differently. And over the years, hair has seen differently to different people. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. What do I like? The choice. You make the choice. That's the feminist part.
Okay.
You make the choice.
I get that. But what if you are a magazine that is featuring them? Well, I think, I think we're 5 for 5. That's not our choice for armpit hair. What if you're you want to do a feature and you're like, a lot of our viewership is not going to appreciate.
Then don't take the pictures. Then don't take the pictures. Fine.
So I actually.
But wouldn't they get in trouble for that?
Well, so I know a case. That happened pretty recently with someone that I know, and they went in for their a photo shoot, and it was for a specific company, and she doesn't shave her armpit hair. And they could see it, and they asked her to shave it, and she politely declined. And they said that it was going to become a problem because they didn't want to display that. And so she said that she would just rather not do the campaign, which is your choice.
Yeah, it's a consequence. It's all about the choice.
And it's their choice. I love when I hear stuff like that. No one needs to be sued. It's just like, I don't want you to tell me what to do with my body. And they're like, we don't want you to tell us what to do with our magazine cover. We'll see you, we'll get drinks.
Fine.
Yeah, I love it.
Jeff, what do you think?
I love it. I'm all for femininity and feminine stuff.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I love it.
You're not feeling it.
With Jordan?
No, I love it. I love it.
You do love it?
I've changed my mind, yeah.
Huh.
I love it.
Jeff.
I find it interesting that when I have a mustache, it's okay to criticize body hair on me, but if I say it, it's a sexual pig type.
Well, I mean,
I think that's true. I think that's a double standard. People talked very openly about your mustache, and that wasn't fair.
Yeah, I love it. I'm all for armpit hair.
You can say armpit hair is not my preference.
No, I can't.
Why?
I did.
Why?
It's not my preference.
Go
I
for
don't
it.
like it.
All right, good job.
I will say, I don't think this is anything new with her. I used to run into her all the time at a lot of the raw vegan restaurants, and it was alive and well then. And this was 15 years ago.
Wait, her armpit hair was alive and well?
It's like a chia pet.
I'm just saying, Rachel McAdams is really, if the places I used to go to were like the raw macrobiotic restaurants.
Wow.
And so a lot of women.
What does that mean?
Like from grass.
No. Macrobiotic means you don't cook it past a certain temperature. So whatever you're eating. It's actually quite warm, okay? It's like 165 degrees versus...
That's not warm at all.
Okay.
You can put your hand in the oven at 100 degrees.
You're going to put your hand in the oven?
You can. It's not that warm. No, it's not.
Okay. Forget it. Okay.
So raw food.
No, my point is, for about 15 years now, she's been, if you see her or if you're part of her inner circle, which I'm not, or if you paid attention to any of her interviews, she always talks about the fact that she likes to be natural.
Yeah.
She does not like to wear makeup. Most of her clothes are hemp and organic. So this is just part of her lifestyle. So that's all I'm going to say.
She's walking that walk.
Earthy.
Yeah.
We can still say that, right?
Totally.
Is there?
Yeah,
I don't know.
earthy.
I don't know.
Earthy, is granola?
Is granola okay? I was
granola
just going to ask that. Can I say granola-ish?
Probably not.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Who's that rude to, the granola?
No, you can say granola.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if we can say granola.
I don't either, Cobb.
Scary times, Cobb.
Hey.
Scary times.
Okay.
We always walking on the edge. It's like landmine city over here.
All right, let's talk about model Paulina Porizkova because she regrets handing her finances over to her late husband. Paulina is featured in the money issue of She Knows magazine and said it was stupid of her to let her husband, singer Rick Ocasek, manage all their finances. Oof. She said it's not that she didn't trust him. It was more like she was just handing herself over to her husband, saying, "Here, you take care of this for me." Paula was 24 when she married Rick, who was 45. He died in 2019 when they were going through a divorce. And days later, she learned she was completely cut out of his will. Erica, go. Go.
However you want to live, I appreciate it. If you like it, I love it. But there is just something, and I've said this openly, like my husband is way better with money than I am. But you know how we have Buffy come in and she's the money expert on the show?
Yes,
she's
Buffy.
The money expert in my life too. And we have it set up in a certain way where there are checks and balances and everybody knows exactly what's going on. Nobody can sign off on one thing or the other. It's probably best, and Buffy agrees, that the person who knows the most about finances is kind of leading. But at the same time, it's a very, very open book. And I think that a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that they look at humans like they are some sort of check to be cashed, and they are going to retire their entire lives on some man or woman with money. And this was a woman who had her own. So the idea that this is like this lottery or golden ticket or this prince or this queen is going to come and rescue you and you're not going to have to think anything is a fallacy. And I really wish social media would be a little bit more honest about that, because what you're doing is you ending up in a situation where you're going to be past the ability to make your greatest earnings. And now what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's too late.
And then nobody feels sorry for you because you've been acting like you've been living high on the hog the whole time, and it's not true.
It's very true. And just a context here, women didn't have their own checking accounts till like 1973 or credit cards. So like there's a reason.
You couldn't apply for credit.
You couldn't even apply for it. So like there's a reason I am a really smart individual and a moron when it comes to financial literacy. It's a weakness, it's embarrassing, but there's a context historically to it, and women weren't meant to be able to look at a bill and read it. They were meant to make a sandwich. So now I'm taking an investment class, a one-on-one, because I want to know what a Roth IRA is as opposed to a traditional IRA, as opposed to a great IRA on the camera. There's a lot of different IRAs. So I'm just saying that there is this is more deliberate than we think historically from that perspective.
And we got to move on, but I'll just say this: it's intimidating and it's embarrassing in your older years, for myself included, to just say I don't know anything. I don't know the first step in, like, I just found out what stocks and bonds were like. I didn't know what a bond was. I know what stocks were. I don't, and all these things that you throw these terms, that's on a monopoly board. How do you not know that? And so it's intimidating, it's embarrassing, especially if you're a person.
We don't teach it in this country.
No,
Jeff stood out to me the second I met him, and you'll say you're tight. I disagree with that. I'm going to reframe that for you. You are very financially literate.
Absolutely.
And that's inspiring. And I hope more people, your children, and I hope it becomes infectious to other people, because it hurts a lot of people in the long end.
Well, I think a lot of people are scared to even look at their finances in the first place, right? When I was like, I first got a credit card, I ran it up, and I didn't even want to open it. I just paid the minimum amount, right? And then you're like, dude, how much am I giving away in interest when you actually look at it? And I didn't have any money when I was living in LA. So now that I built myself up a little bit and I have a family, this is a very fickle business. You say something about armpit hair and you're gone. You know what I mean? So I have to watch my finances, what my wife spends, what our kids' school is, something for the future, a little cushion here. So that's something I've learned over the years. You got to be a little bit frugal, even if it gives you the name Tidy Whitey.
That's right.
That's your new open.
Having these conversations are so important, and that's another thing that people have always been missing. It's like you don't talk about money. Right. No, you don't talk about money with everyone. But y'all know the moment that I hear something, word on the street, especially from some of the sources that I hear from, I will send a text in a heartbeat. Have y'all checked this out? Because I think in 6 months, y'all better read on this. Here's an article. Because we should be having those conversations.
I appreciate you. You look out for all of us. Thank you. Okay, so Chris Evans, you guys, is starring in a new new movie called Ghosted. That's a term where someone you are dating just disappears. But he revealed to People magazine that he's experienced something much worse. Watch.
I think I prefer being ghosted because you can make up any story you want. I've kind of had the slow decline in text responses and time, and you just know the person is kind of pushing you aside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a term for this. It's called fizzling.
Yeah.
Fizzling. It's where replies become slower and less frequent. Eventually, the fizzler stops replying and ghosts the other person.
It's also just called dating, right?
It's just
like, I'm not that into you.
I want to ask you guys this because I've always wondered this about ghosting. If you're dating somebody, but you're not, you know, it's not serious yet, and you're maybe dating 2 or 3 people, and you decide to date one person, but you've been on, let's say, 2 dates. Do I call you and say, Erica, our 2 dates meant a lot, but it's over, or do you just let it go? Because I think I could see you calling your girlfriend and being like, "This guy I want to date with
would say
twice
that was super weird.
is calling
That
me
is
like
weird.
yeah. But so when is it ghosting and when is it just like,
And
how many
dating, right,
dates?
right.
That is my question. Like, what's the thing?
I'm unfamiliar with this territory. I've been married for a long time.
You know what's weird? You bring up
It's
a
if your
really good
feelings
point.
are in there, I think.
Yeah, but you bring up a great point. There's so many labels nowadays in dating: ghosting, throwsting, like
That's not right.
sizzling,
What's
fizzling.
throwsting?
I did make that one up. But
No, but you made the third one up too.
I
Go ahead.
did. But what I'm saying is, like, it's interesting that the labels have to be so specific, where before it was just like, yeah,
He's not that
he's not
into
into me. Yeah, it's interesting. I think.
Yeah. I want to know what ghosting is. It's very strange.
Roasted? Let's figure it out
It's
during
when
the
you
break.
go out for a roast and then you guys thrust
So,
yourself
Tori,
into.
give me a number of dates
Thrust
before
yourself
you need to
into the
call
forest.
and end it. How many dates?
5. If it's 5 dates, I'd like to know that maybe it's not going to work out.
That's a good number.
Don't you guys
5
think?
dates?
5
That's
dates.
fair.
Or when they're not that into you, then you move on.
But
Yeah,
how do you
that-
know that?
Because
You
they're
should
not giving you
know.
what you want. So
You
you,
should
move on to the
know.
person that's giving you what you
well,
want.
it just
People
started.
always
How do
want
you
to
know
call
what I'm
somebody
giving
else a
you?
gaslighter.
You need to be chivalrous and court.
It did court. That's why we went on dates.
You need to court her.
I did court her, but now I don't want to court her anymore.
Then she needs to move on because
But do I tell her or do I just
no, she'll know. He's not courting me.
So then I ghost her.
Fine, she'll find someone better.
I feel like we're fighting now.